I completely forgot I didn't mute. So we have the one and only Metal Magic with us as always, and also we have our very special guest today, Xeno and me, aka Dilly the Dragon. How are you, mate?
You all right? How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Yeah, obviously, mate. Thank you ever so much for agreeing to jump on
Yeah,
today. I
it's much
really
appreciated.
appreciate it. Yeah. And also thank you for taking the time to jump in. Yeah, it's honestly we are very grateful. But firstly, mate, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Busy as hell, but there you go. It's mixing gaming and real life, innit?
Yeah,
Trying to
no,
find balance between the both of them.
it is trying to find that equal balance between both, especially
Yeah.
as you know, me and you are both dads. It is hard work. It really is. Um, but yeah, right. I think we should kick things off. So how did you? Let's go right back to the beginning. So how did you?
Can you see me on camera? Is the camera off?
The camera's off at the moment.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, so how did you sort of start gaming, and
How did
how?
you start gaming? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, this goes back to when I was a kid. Um, arcade, uh, type of things. Yeah, like Space Invaders, and going back a fair few years, like.
yeah.
And then it was around about early 90s. I had this a growing addiction to arcade games.
All right, okay.
I was only about 13, 14, and so my mum bought me a home computer,
Hmm.
and yeah, that's how the game started. So I got into programming, stuff like that.
All right, okay.
So made my own games, and yeah.
Any games we would have heard of?
No,
No,
just
no. Quite
games on my
excited
own,
then.
really. So then from that, then I bought me SNES, and my very first console was SNES.
Nice, yeah.
And
SNES, nice.
Yeah.
Firefox was that Firefox?
Oh, do the barrel roll.
That's so on.
Yeah.
And then started off on that. SNES was my very first console, really, and then progressed from there to PlayStation 1.
Fair play.
Yeah, that was my first ever console, I believe, PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
Many, many
that was.
moons ago.
I'm conflicted. It's either for me, it's either the PlayStation 1 or the Nintendo 64. I can't quite remember, but I can remember playing both of them.
Yeah.
So, what was your first game then?
Ooh.
Gaming wise, what was your first game?
Oh, now you're asking. For me, the earliest memory I can think of is it's between two. So it's either I think it was like Diddy Kong Racing or Donkey Kong Racing or something on the N64.
Yeah.
Or it was Castlevania on the SNES.
See, that's a game I've never got into.
Oh, I love Castlevania. Absolutely amazing game.
Yeah, I
Really
never
good.
really got into them myself. I've played them, but
Yeah.
never really got into them.
Oh, I loved Castlevania.
Mm.
It did get worse the more they released, but like I would say the best one is number one, and it's the one where they introduced Alucard for the first time. That was really good, really really good.
The only introduction I got to Castlevania is through Dead by Daylight.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fair play.
I've
Fair play.
seen it around, but never really got anything to do. Well, never really got into it, really.
Yeah. Oh, fair play. Right, as you've mentioned, Dead by Daylight, how and why did you sort of get into DVD? Like, what sort of drew you to Dead by Daylight?
So it was it 2017, something like that. The game was free on PSN Plus. You get like 3 games per month,
All
free,
right, okay.
and it was one of them. And prior to that, I was on GTA a lot, but it was getting to the point on GTA. I started in 2013 when it started, like,
Yeah.
and then by 2016, I was getting pretty much burned out, like, so I needed finding something to
Sink your
fill that
teeth
spot,
into.
really.
Yeah.
I was on Battlefield. Yeah, so I needed something else. And then, there were 3 games, so I tried Dead by Daylight, and that was it.
Fair play.
Literally the same as me. That's how I got into Dead
Yeah.
by Daylight, because it was free on the PlayStation.
That's
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, because you used to get free games every month,
yeah.
Mm.
and Dead by Daylight was one of them. And then I was seeing, I thought, I'll give it a go. So,
Yeah. Fair play.
So with me, I don't like first person games,
Right. Okay.
and so I heard about it, and I heard about the first person killer views. So I hopped onto Survivor,
Yeah.
and my Survivor was Dwight, I think,
Yeah.
with your glasses. I thought, oh, I'll choose him.
Yeah.
Within 2 or 3 minutes, I was dead. So that was it. I didn't enjoy it. I thought I'll get rid of it then.
Yeah.
But then I tried the race. I thought, being invisible.
Yeah.
Then that didn't work so well. So I was about to click off it. I was about to delete the game itself.
Yeah.
And I just scrolled through the roster of killers, and Mr. Freddy Krueger was there. And he's the one that saved Dead by Daylight.
Fair play. Honestly, I think because I think the thing that sort of is still carrying DBD is the licensed killers. Like it's nice to have, it's nice when behavior creates their own killers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nice when it works as well. But at the end of the day, it's the licensed killers that draws the money in and draws all the player base in. But fair play. Like for me, so I bought it. So my American mate Joe, if you're watching, are you mate? He said to me, he said, "Oh, Royal, you should buy this horror game." I was like, right, okay. So I bought it. I played it for a week, if that. Really didn't enjoy it. Didn't understand it, so I literally put it away. And then I heard Pyramid Head got released, and I thought, I love Silent Hill. I'm gonna I get to have the chance to play as Pyramid Head. This is gonna be the coolest stuff ever. So, and ever since then, I've been playing it. Been playing it on and off more recently. I'm back into it now, but like the last year, I would say is sort of getting burnt out of it.
Yeah.
But
What's causing the burnout though?
that's a really good question. So for me, is it's the amount of bugs and the lack of content. So it's nice, it's nice that they release new killers. It's nice that they release new, events, stuff like that. But it's like us, like for us streamers in particular, when we stream the game, we have to create that content. So that's when we have to set ourselves challenges and goals and stuff like that. But there's only so much we can do to entertain ourselves and the viewer for DBD. And I just feel like having to do that for almost 2 years now, I'm just on the verge of just sort of saying enough's enough. But I had a decent little break, got back into it. I'm starting to enjoy it again. I can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah. But a lot of people are sort of going through that. Like I spoke to, I jumped into Spooky Loops' stream, and I asked him, I sent a message, and he's something along the lines of, "Would you agree that currently people are going through like a DVD burnout? And if so, do you have a comment on that?" And in fairness, he answered me straight away, and I was really glad he did. And he's just said it's just the lack of content. He said streamers are the one that's carrying DVD at the moment, and it has been for a number of years. Um, and there's only so much content they can provide because there's only so many challenges you've already seen, like killer streaks and like win streaks as killer. It doesn't really prove anything. It just proves how many games you've sort of tunneled and slugged to
yeah,
be
pretty
able to get
much.
that
Yeah.
4K. But yeah, it's getting a little bit mundane. Like any game's fun to play with friends, in my opinion. You could play Tetris with me, and I will have a whale of a time. But I just feel like it's sort of getting a little bit mundane at the moment. But I am looking forward to the Resi version of 2v8. I'm a massive Resident Evil fan, and Metal is as well. But I can't see Metal sort of coming back
No,
to
no,
DVD.
no. Not for a while yet, anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
I went through a stage of it wasn't a case of getting burnt out. It was to do with the abuse.
yeah,
That's what got to me for a while. is a level of abuse. Like. And I played various online games, Red Dead Redemption, GTA, and the level of abuse I've had on Dead by Daylight, which has caused my burnouts, is astounding.
Yeah, like it's crazy because every time I've streamed, like I've streamed for almost 2 years now, and I can count with one hand bad experiences I've had within the DVD community. When Metal streamed, it was practically every other 4 or 5 games.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
ridiculous, and I couldn't fathom the reason why people would do that. Um, but yeah, do you want to? Obviously, it's up to you, mate. Because obviously, you did have a really bad experience
Yeah.
with a member of the community. It's up to you if you want to sort of delve into it. Also, I don't want to pressure you into if you don't want to at this moment in time. We can leave it to the end, or if you want, we can just not talk about it at all. It's entirely up to you.
Fine. So I don't know what it is in this game. Dead by Daylight. You, you either chose a role of killer, survivor, or go 50-50.
Hmm.
And me personally, if I want to enjoy a game, then I either focus on one side of a game or not
Yeah.
to really enjoy the game. And I focus my attention on killer. But I didn't realize how much abuse you get as a killer. I don't know
It's
why though.
it's I personally the reason why I think killer gets more abuse compared to survivors is I think because playing killer, I don't this is going to trigger some people. I don't care what you think, but playing killer is 10 times harder than it is playing as survivor.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
As
agree.
killer,
Yeah, I
you
agree.
got to think of gens, you got to think of map pressure, you got to think of each survivor's got 4 perks, and that's what 4, 8, 12, 16 perks.
Yeah.
You got to think about that, and it's one killer against with 4 perks. That's all you get.
Yeah.
So it's a constant chore. And the thing that I always find funny when a killer DCs in a game, the survivors all giggling, this and that, blah blah blah. But when a survivor DCs, I can almost guarantee you it's one of two reactions from the killer's perspective. Either you'll giggle because it's something like you hit them straight off the bat, boom, they DC, or they DC and you just go, oh, I just wanted to play a proper
Yeah.
game.
Mm.
It's double standards in my opinion. But
So I had a game of killer, and I was at the time I was main hag,
yes, yeah,
and this was before PSN. Well, I want to talk about PSN. So PSN community of Dead by Daylight was quite big at the time,
oh right, okay,
and gradually it got smaller. And I never used to play with crossplay on because of so many hackers on the PC side of Dead by
Epic
Daylight. I
Games
didn't
and all
bother
that,
with
yeah.
it. I had it switched off for a long period of time.
Bet the queue
So
time sucked though.
not really, because the community of PSN was quite large. But then towards the latter part of it, you meet the same people over and over and over.
Yeah.
And as I said, I was maining the hag back then. This is just after I gave up on Freddy after his rework, and so I went into the hag. And with me, I'm not, I wouldn't say perfectionist, but I tend to focus my attention if I want to get good at something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So every game I played I had and I lost, I'd change. I'd change what I'm doing, change my gameplay.
Yeah.
And every game would be differently. And as I said, the PSN community was getting smaller and smaller, so you'd meet the same people over and over and over. And you get to know the traits of different survivors, how they play. No matter if you change the name or not, you'd recognize certain survivors. So this one person wasn't happy with the fact that I met him a few times and they had lost. Obviously, they hadn't learned from the mistakes from prior matches. And I won't name the person because since I've delved into streaming again, they've apologized and we've moved on. But this guy found my real life Facebook profile, and with information on there that's kind of
Private.
location, etc.
Yeah. Family. Yeah.
So I had further messages on PSN. I had messages on Facebook, which upset the family because now the toxicity of gaming was filtering over into personal life. So it caused a lot of grief in the family. If I was on my own, I'd probably weather it, but not when you got kids and you got a girlfriend. They don't want to deal with that shit. I can't blame Dead by Daylight. It's a person behind the controller,
Yeah.
behind the keyboard. But it was through Dead by Daylight that happened.
Yeah.
So the police got involved, and while they're doing investigations, I said to the family, if you don't want me to do it, I won't do it. So I gave up on YouTube, closed the channel down. I had over about 1,000 subscribers on there. And then I closed on Twitch, which had near enough 1,000. And that was it. And then the police did what they did and found out it was a minor and no previous. And they asked me what I wanted to do. They had enough evidence, they had enough information on this guy, so but he lived an hour away.
Oh gosh.
By car. So before that information, I knew he'd lived an hour away from me.
Yeah.
I didn't know at the time he was a minor. You don't know, do you?
No, you wouldn't. Yeah.
So that really shook this barrel here. People they were fearful,
Yeah.
But when the police came back with information, I thought, no previous, I'll just let it go. So it's on record.
Yeah.
So I stopped streaming then for about, I would say, nearly 12 months.
Bloody hell.
But my mind, before I found out who he was, I know the age, whatever.
Yeah.
I was messed up, what I mean?
No, I bet I would be. I think anyone else would be messed up as well. And like you said as well, a really important point that you said. If he was on your own, normally you would tend to manage it into a certain degree. But
Yeah.
when you've got that vulnerability of a family, you got your partner, you got your kids, it's a different ball game. Then that's when you gotta do what's right for you. But most importantly, you gotta do what's right for your family and your kids. And mate, I just want to say firstly, obviously, thank you for telling us and obviously telling chat and obviously people on YouTube your story. Also, I know a few people know it, and I really, really do respect you for sort of coming forward and telling us because it's a big thing, it's a private thing as well.
Yeah.
But fair play to you. But how are you and the family currently, though? Like after, I hope the situation has died down now.
Oh yeah.
But
Once the police got involved and they did investigations and whatever. I mean, if this guy lives in America or whatever, or abroad or whatever, Timbuktu, it wouldn't bother us because he was like an hour away, and we all live. The UK is quite a small place. If you
it
try
is.
that.
It really
it's
is.
small, yeah.
So you're talking. You're talking to me in London. It's only 4 hours away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took a while for things to calm down, but mentally, it's maybe a bit more. I don't know, less naive.
Yeah, more cautious and yeah.
But then after that, there's new laws coming into effect, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah,
There's the online hate crime law,
yeah,
which is Section 4. You've got that. You've got the new EU law coming in, which is coming in already, and UK have adopted a different version of it.
yeah,
There's laws in America. There's laws everywhere now online. and I've had one person getting banned for it, and you have sent
Yeah.
information for sending abuse just because I killed him in a game.
In a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly it's ridiculous because I can't physically understand the mindset because if I lose in a game, yeah, you might get frustrated, whatever, but it's a game. It's a
Yeah,
game at the end of the day. There's no need to say, you know what, I'm gonna target this individual and just make their life a living hell. I can't physically understand that, but but again, it all like you said, it's not you can't blame Dead by Daylight because they're not the ones that has caused this. It's
No.
the individual behind the controller, but that came from DBD's community.
Yeah.
But obviously, behavior can't really do anything about it.
There's like one of my griefs as well, and the argument there as well, because when I spoke to behaviour,
Mm.
because it's a PSN message, they passed the buck onto PSN.
Oh, did they? Oh, they would do. In
It's not our
fairness.
problem, it's PSN problem. Even
Yeah.
though it was centered around Dead by Daylight,
Yeah.
it was to do with PSN.
I mean, yeah, and it
It
still
was
still
PSN as well.
it still involves them though, doesn't it, as well? Because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's a
Mm.
get out of jail free card, isn't it? If we
Mm.
think it's
Yeah.
our problems, it's a PSN.
Yeah, because I think it would have been good if behavior, at least apologized for what happened and maybe gave the individual, like, I don't know, either a temporary ban for like a month or something, or even a perma ban. But they didn't even apologize to you,
Nothing,
like, for what's happened, or
no problem, no problem.
bloody hell. Like, if I worked for behavior, even if I was the one behind the screen having to deal with complaints, I couldn't help but apologize for what you've just been through, sort of thing. But again, that's just me.
The
But
only thing they've done since I've been on Dead by Daylight
mm,
is I was in a match with a survivor that was getting harassed by the other three survivors. They
all right,
were,
okay.
oh yeah, I've seen it time and time before. You get one survivor in the corner, they body block it, and then
Oh yeah, yeah,
that survivor can't move, and they expect the killer to kill him, or they creep around the match, expecting one survivor to die.
yeah.
But I killed the other three survivors and let this one go, and I got reported, and I got banned for 14 days.
What, you got banned?
Hmm. Working
What?
with a survivor.
Wait, what? You got
But
banned?
in real life, when I get attacked by somebody who's been playing the game, it's not a problem.
No, that's it. Yeah,
Wait, hang on, hang
yeah,
on.
it's
Let me take
crazy. That is.
let me take a step back. Right, so just so I got that, that story straight. So 4 survivors in the game with you. You're playing killer. 3 of them are griefing the one survivor. So you decide, you know what? I'm going to stick up for the little man.
Mm.
Take out the 3. Let the one that's getting harassed, out. And then you get banned.
Yeah, because there was 3 reports against 1.
That is
But
ridiculous.
that's the
And
thing as well,
and
right?
that happened within 24 hours.
Within 20, like they didn't even like properly
It was
review
fast.
it.
Well, that's the thing though. All the games get recorded, right? They can go back and watch the actual game because they record them,
Yeah.
right? So they can see it with their own eyes. But they've probably just looked at the reports that I even thought 3 times to 1. They thought, oh well, we just ban him then.
Yeah, it's
Not
got to be
actually,
legit.
and not actually looked what's happened because they can because they record everything.
Yeah.
So
But how can they like? But on what grounds though? Because obviously this you get like the certain options for like griefing,
Well,
cheating.
they don't see my point of view today. They don't see my mindset today. They just see a killer working with a survivor getting the other 3 killed, and that's why I got banned for 14 days.
I'm sorry. That is. Oh, my blood is boiling just even hearing it from that.
I mean, it probably could be
Um,
classed as like teaming because
Oh,
obviously teaming's
yeah,
a bannable offence in most games.
in most
So
games, yeah,
because they might be saying, oh, the killer that survivor teamed up to get the other 3. So that's
yeah,
probably how they see it.
but getting back to that incident, what have you, and how I actually got my mind around it, is when other people went through it, I would talk to them, and I could
yeah,
understand how they felt, and because I could understand how they felt, they would talk more.
Yeah, and you had something more to
So I
relate.
used that as a way to get my head around what happened to me,
Yeah,
like a strength type of thing.
yeah. Because I always find if you go through something, and your friend's trying to help, but if they've never fully gone through, like if they haven't gone through a similar situation, it's hard for them to support you. But when you've gone through something and someone has either identically gone through something like you've done, it just makes that sort of communication a lot easier because you've got more things to relate to, um, and and then you can start the sort of the healing process of it as well.
Well, 100%. You know, you know, before my mum died,
Mm,
I people say, "Oh, mum's died," but you couldn't feel or sympathize with that person,
yeah.
and truly, and no matter how they talk, how much they talk, you can sit down and listen. You can't feel nothing. You just can't feel what they're going through.
No, you can only imagine. That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah. So, like when my mum died, even though it was tragic and all that, and but now I can sympathize with people more.
Yeah,
So I use what's happened to me in real life as I try and turn into like a strength, maybe type of thing,
yeah,
to cope with things. So, like online abuse, the same thing. I talk to people and try and once I talk about my experiences, they talk a lot more, blah blah.
yeah. And I hope as well, like with this video for the people that's currently watching the stream and obviously people at home watching it on YouTube, um, I hope that if there is someone that's currently going through something like this or has been but doesn't know how to deal with it, I hope this video can sort of highlight that you're not alone.
Well,
But
my main advice there
yeah,
is don't keep things inside.
yeah, 100%. Worst thing to do
Oh,
is bottle things
no.
up.
Once you keep things inside, it grows like a virus inside you and makes you ill.
Yeah,
So you got to talk about experiences that you had, even if it's something small online has happened.
yeah,
Talk about it,
yeah. No, 100% agree.
and if it can be reported, report it,
Yeah,
because they may
um,
not they may not do nothing out of your report,
yeah,
but it accumulates over time.
it will. Yeah, but it's that's another thing as well. I want to come on to is this sort of dead by daylight reporting system then, because that story you told me that has bamboozled me. It literally has. It's I can't fathom it, mate. I really can't. Um, but like, because it's satisfying when you do get when you ban a legit person like for hacking and you get that notification to say the individual that you've banned has now been reported has now been banned. It's satisfying, but I'm just thinking of all the other people that's been wrongfully banned. I'm just it- it's it's
The
it's
reporting
crazy.
system on behaviour is broken
Yeah,
without a shadow of a doubt, because you can faulty report people, and if you've got enough people in say, in my experience, you got 3 survivors, all doing the same report. There you go. It's broken. The whole thing's broken. They need a better way.
because
So to say, because with Behave as well, it's the only game, Dead by Daylight, I know that there could be another one where if you actually want to officially report something properly, you got to go and submit a ticket,
yeah,
Yeah,
and you got to go and submit a ticket on a whole separate website.
they do that on GTA as well.
It's,
really,
yeah, but to me, like, why should you have to go to to their website to submit a report?
Yeah,
Like just have the ticket thing in game.
yeah.
It's like if you want to do an actual in-game report, have the ticket there, and if you want to provide evidence, you can provide evidence that way.
yeah,
So, like, why would you want to go all the way to that website
It's like
to do it?
it's like when you get accused of um the stupid flipping things, tunneling, slugging,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah,
camping, right? Like I'll give you an example. In GTA, right? I don't know if you play GTA online at all,
not really. No,
but you've got businesses to make money. And what Rockstar want you to do is buy these shark cards, which are like real money for in-game currency.
all right, okay, so like a pay to win sort of thing, then is it? Or
It's a pay to buy, yeah, pay to win, basically, yeah.
yeah,
So what they've done now, they've released like businesses you can buy it online to make you to make your money, blah blah blah, and to buy you the stuff that you want, but fast track you buy a shark card.
Yeah.
So when you fill your warehouse full of product or whatever, and you go and sell it into a lobby, you get a notification on your virtual phone saying blah 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 is selling their property or product, go and destroy it for extra XP, extra cash. That's deemed as griefing within the community.
Right. Okay.
But it's there, made by Rockstar to get people to
Grief.
to grief.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got camping, tunneling, and slugging in Dead by Daylight. Who
Mhm.
created that? Who created that?
Well, behaviour themselves.
There you go. So is it the
Yeah.
fault? Is it the fault of the killer, or behaviour?
No, well, because that's the thing as well. So obviously, I know there's a lot of survivor mains out there that despise the whole aspect of camping, tunneling, slugging, this and that. I agree and disagree with them. So for me, if it's like practically at the start of the game of 5 gens and the killer just automatically slugs everyone within the first 2 minutes, yeah, it's a boring game. It sucks, you know. But if it's like 2 gens left and there's still 4 survivors, but everyone is on death hook, I would not blame the killer for slugging or tunneling because you need to create that pressure. Um, but for me, at 5 gens within the first 2 minutes, don't get me wrong, yes, I know it's a valid tactic, but if I was playing, like, because I play a lot of killer, and I personally don't find that fun. Going out at like purposely targeting someone at 5 gens, I don't find that fun. Obviously, some people do, some people don't. Everyone has, their own opinion. But I think in the right in the right sort of circumstance with tunneling, slugging, stuff like that, if it's to create pressure later in the game or even mid game, I got absolutely no issue with it. But I have seen a rise in tunneling and slugging more recently. It did dim down sort of, I think it was like towards the middle of last year. Then it ramped up towards the end of last year, and it's sort of stagnant now at the moment. It hasn't really gone up or really gone down. It's roughly the same.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on slugging, tunneling, this and that?
Well, that's killer. If you OTT on one of the three, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Regardless, right? So if you camp somebody to death, you're going to lose because by the time they've died in the hook, most of the gens have been popped. Then you've got second chance perks to deal with. You're going to lose. Same as tunneling. If you tunnel one person all the way through the map and don't go after anybody else, don't kick gens, blah blah blah, don't patrol gens, you're going to lose because you're just going after one person. You're not spreading pressure.
Yeah.
But if you do it tactfully, then you need it. You need that bit of your kit to go with.
Yeah. A bit of pressure, yeah.
Yeah, because only one survivor out of the 4 could technically finish the game. The other 3 survivors can sit in the corner, have a cup of tea, and it's gone. It only takes one survivor to do the whole job, right?
Yeah.
If a killer sat in the corner, then the game over, isn't it? But it's so you need the extra pressure. You need like tunneling. Like depends on the build as well. Depends on how you play the killer. Like for Demogorgon, for instance, I don't kick gens. I don't defend gens. I have no gen regression, no gen defense. And I've had this argument with the survivor lately. If I've got no gen defense, I'm not kicking gens, what am I going to go after?
Well, people.
Exactly. And if I'm going after survivors, where would you heal? Would you heal right by the hook where you've just been hooked on the hook from? Or would you move away from the area? And the person I found was healing right by the hook. And there's, they were saying, oh, well, you should go after the other person. Well, yeah, but you're creating this problem by staying in that same area. You should move away from the area.
Yeah.
It's some survivors made bad choices.
Yeah, a lot of the time it is due to like the survivors being too altruistic.
Yeah.
But there are obviously times where the killer just say, you know what, I'm just going to tunnel out the Nancy, for example.
Yeah.
But Mel, what's your sort of opinion of it as well?
What, the old tunneling and well,
Slugging and
like,
stuff
like,
like that.
like you know, like say when people heal next to the hook and the killer comes, because some people obviously, if you don't know where to go, stay on hook. Obviously, you go back to hook, don't you? Because if no one's on
Yeah.
gens, you just go back to hook because you know two people are going to be there because that's what
Yeah.
everyone does.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've done it.
I've done
Everyone's
it.
done it. Everyone's done it.
Yeah.
You've been middle healing, the kid's coming back. So then, like you say, it creates that scenario. Do you go for the injured one or the healthy one? If you really want to be efficient, you go for the injured one, get them back
Exactly.
down. Because then again, it's their fault for staying there and healing in the first place. Because it's nothing to do with the killer. The killer's not making you stay there. You
No,
can
no.
go off, and there is perks that can help you quickly. Will make it brilliant perk, underrated.
Yeah, very underrated.
You can heal really quick, but a lot of people do it without those sort of perks.
Yeah.
And they sit there, and then the killer comes back, which I think is perfectly fine. Because again, it's a mistake on the survivor's part, and not the killer. But then again, you get called out for it, even though you didn't make the mistake. You're
Yeah.
taking advantage of the survivors making the
Well,
mistake.
it's obvious that you're going to go back to the hook, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
obvious.
yeah, because that's the obvious thing to do. Because at the end of the day, like, especially if you're not running any gen slowdown, like I've done the same. I played Huntress for over a year, just aura perks, no gen slowdown at all. If they give me that option to down you again, I'm going to down you.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as. I don't have to play fair. But even it's technically it's still playing fair because they've made the mistake.
So you got one, say for example, you got one hook, you got one slug,
Mm,
then you got the other two.
yeah,
That's causing them pressure then. Either save the friend,
yeah,
pick the friend off the floor, and then you got one person doing gen probably. That's gen. That's a gen pressure just gone. It's just
Yeah.
mm.
then there's no gen work, is there?
No,
No.
it's like slugging itself. Like, and again, obviously, if you do it at 5 gens, yeah. Like I've had it against a nurse on Haddonfield. The nurse downed all of us in 3 minutes and just sat in the middle of the street and watched all us bleed out.
No,
But
that's wrong. They
yeah,
should
I've
be
had it
on the
before. It
bench against them.
happens, but like, not every killer can do that. Only really nurse can. Maybe Blight can do that, but
I've done it as Demagogue, and I've done it as Hag,
mm,
I've done it as Xeno.
yeah,
Um,
Oh
but
yeah, I just realised that. Sorry,
it's a Xeno right there. Yeah.
I thought that was a mic.
Mm.
Oh, that's cool, mate.
But like it's Huntress. Like as a Huntress player, like all you always do, as soon as you down someone, like I never used to go straight and pick them up. I used to wind up and hatch it and try to get another hit, then pick them up.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's what you do as a Huntress. Really, if you don't really do it, you sort of like shoot yourself in the foot.
but
Because
I've never finished a game where I've let people out,
no, I've never done it either.
unless there's one particular survivor that wants to
Crawl,
taunt you,
or crawl to the end of the world.
They point you at all the planets. They taunt you,
Mm.
and at the end you save that particular survivor for the last one, and you just let them bleed out. That's
And
your
like, the survivors and all that crawl to the edge of the edge of the map.
yeah.
Yeah.
And is
Well,
it,
that's the end
do
of
you
it.
really
You
want to
can
waste
argue
do you really want to waste the next 2.5 minutes, like
Yeah.
3 minutes? Just let me
Yeah.
pick up and hook you. Most of the time, I used to let people go. So if you let me pick you up, I'll give you hatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to stay in the corner, go ahead. You know what I mean? But to me, like again, a lot of people don't know what tunneling actually is.
But like
A lot.
I've had experiences where I've had four survivors on the ground, 4 gens. I picked one up, and then they wiggled off. I go off in the corner somewhere
Mm.
and wait for the
I've
after,
done that a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
and then
done it
wait
as
for
well.
the heal up, reset, and then go after them again.
Mm.
I've had messages saying you ruined my experience.
You've given them a second
It's the game
chance.
second chance. I've done it
You know what I
myself.
mean?
I've
You
done
can't
it.
win sometimes.
You can't. You really can't. And the one thing that I always laugh is, when let's say a survivor gets unhooked, you then go for the healthy one, let's say, that's just unhooked the injured one. But the injured one is trying to take that initial hit within endurance.
Yeah.
you swing at them, put them in mend. But then if you continue to chase them, I always say, look, if you're well enough to take a hit, you're well enough for me to chase you.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
they get funny about it then.
Well,
Oh yeah, definitely.
that's the thing. A lot of people, like I've seen Raw do this a load of time, where
Oh,
he
here
gets
we go.
unhooked. He's got a flashlight because he loves his flashlight.
I
You
do,
get
I
her
do.
unhooked. The person unhooks him. Instead of running off, he'll stop and crouch and wait for the killer to pick someone and try to get the flashlight save off. But sometimes the killer knows and just downs him again.
Yeah.
So, like, in that instance, whose fault is that?
Oh, 100% mine.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. Like,
1,000%.
yeah, but like, a lot of
I-
people will moan that the killer's done that. So
I don't get it though.
that they want the killer to pick up so you get the flashlight save. Like, you've had plenty of opportunity to run off. But
Yeah.
if you all want to stay around and risk getting down again, so
Yeah,
And-
I'm there trying to get the content. That's all I'm saying.
oh no, yeah, you're doing it for the content aspect of it. You know what I mean? 'Cause streaming.
I had the same experience on Fortress Asylum.
Oh,
I
quote
had
spend
one-
the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I had one on hook. He was the one that's clicking around and getting my attention. I chased after him, put him on a hook, and then the one that saved him ran off. He was still clicking. Right? So I went after him again. Yeah, I got a message saying you're telling me out of the game. You ruined my experience. Oh,
What do you expect? You're trying to say, hey, look, come get me, come get me. I'm like, all right then.
you want my attention? Now you got it. Now you complain about it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Uh,
Honestly, it's double standards.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
I've had that before. I always remember this. It's on Blood Lodge, just before they reworked it, and survivors click and take me to Shack, and they done the whole 1v1 thing. I was playing Huntress, so I was like, oh no, 1v1, yeah. They lasted 15 seconds, 2 hatchets, and they DC'd. Literally, I threw 2 hatchets, downed them, then they DC'd.
Yeah.
I was like, oh right, oh fair enough.
Yeah.
It didn't invite me.
Mm.
But that's another thing. So obviously DC now, if the person disconnects, you get bots. Which don't get me wrong, I would, yeah, but yeah, most of the time the bots are better than the individual. But the thing is, though, right? So I've noticed a lot of people doing this just to ruin it just a little bit more. People will purposely give up on hook,
Hook, yeah.
so a bot will not replace them.
Mm.
So now the survivors are at a disadvantage because, as you know, if you've got 4 gens left and one person's already given up, you've got 3 survivors left. Most of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time at least, it's normally GG's. 4 gens ago, you got 3 survivors left. The pressure is just almost doubled.
Yeah.
I don't agree with people just giving up on hook for the sake of it because they're not having a good time. You know,
I
if
got
you saw,
DC because of the killer I'm playing.
yeah,
Or a perk I'm using, like, I don't know, Franklin's or whatever.
Franklin's, yeah, it's always
They don't
Franklin's.
want to, do they?
No,
Well,
well,
DC. And then once they DC then become a bot, then some survivors have this mentality of, right, we've got a bot in match now, you're supposed to take it easy on us. Why?
yeah, yeah,
Well, it's not
like
your fault that someone DCs, is it? So why should you?
exactly.
Mm.
Like metal
Anybody
had,
teammate.
yeah, like metal had one. I don't know if it was last year or may even be in the year before. Straight off the match, so me and Metal, when we play Huntress, we always go for Aura. And straight off the match, Metal had lethal, and you could see one survivor just standing there. In fairness, it was a lovely cross map hatchet. The millisecond it hit and Metal reacted,
Yeah,
they DC'd.
DC'd, yeah.
No way.
Then the first 5 seconds of the game, they DC'd.
Yeah. And after that as well, I had one of the survivors come in and called me unfair for it, by the way. I always remember that. They come in and called me unfair for hitting a cross hatchet. And I was like, oh, right.
Yeah.
It's not my fault they gave me the opportunity. I mean, I just went for it.
So I'm mainly a killer, right?
Yeah.
But when I was taking on the hag, I was at a huge disadvantage because I didn't have the survivor knowledge of habits and routes. So I played survivor for like 2 weeks just to learn the routes, the habits of what they were doing, so I could
Yeah.
travel efficiently. But as killer, you get this like thought in your head that survivors they all band together, they stick together, all for one, one for all, and all that crap.
All that
Right?
crap. Yeah.
I've been in a situation where I've seen survivors rat each other out.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's been loads. Like because I used to be a killer main, and I've dabbled more into Survivor now. And even like in my Survivor games, I get people snitching on other survivors. Like one might be hiding in a locker because of Doc, with
Yeah.
his last thing, or they suspect the killer may have barbecue. The survivor will go up to the locker and just keep spamming the open button, so that survivor is basically permanently locked into that locker because they can't get out.
Yeah.
I again, it's like there's set rules for us for killers to play as, and to play the sort of play style that the survivors want. For me, it's ruining DVD because you can't be yourself.
No, you can't. But I've seen the other side as well. I've seen killers message when I used to play, when I played Survivor for those 2 weeks. I've had messages from killers saying you can't loop this long, blah blah. You can't do this. You can't. There's a killer rule book as well.
Yeah.
So there's two sides to it. But if you search on YouTube, toxic survivor, I don't know, runs a killer for 5 gens, you get 5 million bloody videos.
Yeah, you get loads. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, you get loads.
We found an exploit on a locker. You can hide in the
Yeah.
locker. You don't get hit. How many videos? 5 million.
Yeah.
You search for toxic killers.
Yeah, it's not that many at all compared to like toxic survivors. Oh, I looped a night for 5 gens.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Then they don't think about the killer's enjoyment of the game, do they?
No.
Like I didn't when I do play Survivor now, when I'm streaming, I'll do Swift with followers, whatever. I'm not very good, but I'll do it just because I want to be part of the community. It's
Yeah.
It's when you're streaming for people, aren't you?
Exactly.
So if they want to Swift with you, then I pre-warn them I'm not a survivor. But I don't think about the killer's point of view. I don't think about the killer's if they don't get no kills, like I don't think about that. I'd much rather get out.
Yeah.
And if I can help all my teammates get out, I'll do it. No matter what I do, whether it's turn into a bot or at the time DC for the hatch, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But then the killer's got to play by etiquette and rules. Why?
Yeah. And that's the thing that baffles me with the DVD community, because don't get me wrong, they are fantastic people within the community. I've met some of the best people. I met Metal through DVD. I met him. He was playing as Huntress. It was me, my partner, my youngest brother, and our friend Gemma on Dead Dog Saloon.
Yeah.
Me and Metal was having a little bit of fun. We were playing whack-a-mole with the hatchets.
Yeah.
So I'm by the water tower, just ducking down beneath the wood. He's just lobbing them through. And yeah, I literally popped in. We said hello, and I would say we've been good mates since.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've met you, Dilly, as well. I've met you through streaming and DVD as well. I didn't really know. I've seen some of your videos like subconsciously, but I didn't really know you. Metal is the one that's more familiar to you, and obviously when you came into the stream, Metal was like, "Royal, I think that was Dilly the Dragon." I'm like, I don't know who that is. And then he explained. I was like, the old Hagman. Yes, I remember now. Because mate, like you were really predominant in the DVD community. Like I saw like quite a few videos back in the day of you.
Yeah.
And it's always nice as well. Like, and this is just personal to me. It's always nice to see another Welsh person sort of succeed in anything.
There's not many of us.
There's not. But mate, we are slowly taking over
Yeah,
Twitch.
taking over.
We'll be taking over this podcast at the moment, mate.
Don't worry, next week you'll get a cup of English in it, don't worry.
But yeah, it's but don't get me wrong, every community is gonna have their bad batch. They always do. League is horrifically renowned for it. But there are some good people in the community, but half the time it
Well, this is
unfortunately
the
it's
one
getting harder.
I've had most problem with. This is the one that's really opened my eyes to how people can react.
Mm.
And I think the major problem is they put too much humanity into what they're doing.
Yeah.
Now, if you treat it Dead by Daylight like a game, like any other game, there wouldn't be a problem. But for some reason, they think they are the avatar. You know, that they are part of the game.
Yeah. They think they're
But when
actually
they
Dave.
die, or
Yeah.
when their friend dies, it's personal. I don't know why. I
Yeah.
don't get it.
I mean, it's
No.
all to do with ego, and
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's that too.
yeah, it's all to do because in their heads, how dare you hook me?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
how dare you not let me use my perks? How dare you not me
Yeah,
finish the gens? It happens. Like, don't get me wrong. I used to be like it many years ago. Then the day I realised it, and I was like, all right, I just need to sort my ego out. Then now I can
Mm.
just play games fairly chill. Don't get me wrong. Still get frustrated. Happens.
And
Everyone gets
Yeah.
frustrated. But like, I wouldn't like get that mad anymore. And then when playing Dead by Day, it's Dead by Daylight in the day. No one
Yeah.
cares. Like, no one
the thing
cares.
is, there's certain survivors that you know you're gonna have problems with.
Yeah.
You got the Steves, you got the Bills. Do you agree?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You do get the obviously the stereotype,
Nias and all that.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Nias and because obviously they watch like JRM and they run and they think, oh, I
Yeah.
can do that. They try and do it and they
Doesn't
fail
work.
and it just don't work. Don't get me wrong. When you watch them, watch the stream of JRM, you don't escape that much. Don't get me
No.
wrong. He's good. Don't get me
He is.
wrong. He is good, but
I
you
think
don't
some.
you don't escape every game. You know what I mean?
I,
No.
I think some have like builds where they try and try and try, and when they get the right, when they get one escape or one decent game with a killer, it's a meta build. It's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
causes all the traffic. They after one game, I think,
Yeah.
and whenever people try it, it doesn't work for them because it's one out of 100 maybe.
Yeah, because a really good point as well. So obviously, Metal mentioned egos in the first episode that we did for the podcast. Also, we did our episode based off DVD, and a really good point that Metal mentioned, and I completely agree with it. Is that people egos are that high that they can't accept that someone is actually better than them.
Yeah.
Either
Yeah,
you're playing as killer and you get outsmarted by a survivor, or vice versa. Sometimes people just can't comprehend. Oh, this person's actually better than me.
yeah, but that's the mentality of a bad gamer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. I get frustrated in games, but I don't purposely go out my way to be a dick to someone because there's
No.
no need for it. It's a game.
Yeah.
You play a game to escape reality with all the crap that's going on in the
Yeah,
background. You
definitely.
play a game to escape all that rubbish, and you just want to chill out and relax. But then people sort of bring all that personal stuff into the
The
game, and
game. Yeah.
that's when it becomes toxic. Then
Yeah, and some can't separate the gaming banter, gaming, the match from
personal lives, personal
yeah,
matters. Yeah,
and
and like
it spills over into the chat then, and it
it
becomes
does,
more toxic,
and
and that's
like
where that's where all the problems come from.
yeah, exactly. And obviously, the perfect example, considering the experience that you've gone through, you have practically every right to be an absolute dick to everyone, considering the experience that you've gone through. But you haven't. You've still been Dilly the Dragon. You've still been yourself. You've still been supportive to other content creators and streamers. You've been lovely with me, mate. It's been lovely to see you in chat, except when you keep redeeming the bloody AFK redeem. That's just infuriating. But you have every right to be a dick, but you've chosen not to. And I think you need to sort of realize that and give yourself more of a pat on the back because you haven't sort of gone down that common route. You've sort of taken a step back and just say, look, I'm going to be me. I'm not going to bring this to everyone's stream. I'm not going to bring this to everyone's game. It is what it is, sort of thing. And mate, fair play to you.
Um, I don't see myself that way. I just see myself as me. But
Exactly. Yeah.
we've all been brought up in different ways, I suppose. And I've always been brought up. I wouldn't say the best of childhoods,
No, I'm the same, mate.
but you either break the mold or you copy.
Yeah.
and I broke my mold, if so to speak.
Yeah.
And I didn't turn out to be the person that was, not very nice to me as a kid, like. So, and that's gone through all my life like that. I don't react to negative situations like some people do,
Yeah.
and I don't turn either. Like you
No.
said, I don't turn. I'm who I am from day to day.
Yeah, and honestly, mate, I appreciate you so much, and like I can assure that Metal does as well for you
Hmm.
telling us your story and allowing us to be a part of that story as well. Honestly, mate, I really we really do
Yeah, we
appreciate
do
it.
really appreciate it.
Like it's
Yeah.
like
Well, I appreciate the fact that you let me come on. Well, you
oh,
invited me
oh
and
mate,
give me
I'm
the
honored to have you,
opportunity to share my story to help other people. Try and get through the toxicity of online.
Yeah,
As I said, if you get crap shit, report it and
yeah.
talk. Don't suffer in silence.
No, exactly. But mate, honestly, I'm honored to have you on. Because I said to Metal, I said you would be a really good idea to see if we can get Dilly on the podcast. Because when we first started talking about setting up a podcast, potentially anyway, at this point, I was like, we're gonna have to get like some guests on. And the first person I mentioned was Xeno and me, and we both just went, "Yes, perfect. Let's see if he's on board." And I said, "I could probably lure him in because we're both Welsh." He said, "You might have some sympathy with me, like." But mate, honestly, it's been awesome. It really has. And again, I'm really grateful. I do have a question for you though, Dilly.
Yeah,
Out of all the killers to main initially, why
yeah.
did you main Hag? Out of all killers,
Hag was because it's a tactical killer. You have to predict where survivors are going to go before they go there.
yeah,
Otherwise, if your traps don't get activated, you're powerless. Basically, you are the slowest M1 killer in Dead by Daylight, apart from the nurse. So I play chess a lot. I like playing chess.
yeah,
So I like tactical games like Battlefield, um, or anything that involves tactics. So Hag to me is like the chess player of
yeah.
Dead by Daylight.
The OG, the original. Because also
Yeah.
you got Skull Merchant now. Um, oh, when she came out, Jesus.
Oh, see, to me, she was a mix of both.
Mm.
No, I apologize. She is, to me, Predator.
Yes, but when she got released, I was like, that's basically Predator. They've
Yeah,
got grounds to have a Predator
yeah.
skin.
And then when Singularity got released,
Mm.
that's Alien.
Yeah, yeah, in some sense, yeah. Because
That's something.
because Larry got released but before Xeno, didn't he? I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
it was yeah, it was her first, wasn't it? Then Singularity, and I think it was supposed to be Predator and Alien
Yeah.
in my experience. Because if you look at the legs of Singularity, it's the same
Oh,
as,
yeah,
as
it's the same concept as and sort of same walking feature in to a certain degree as Alien. Um, but yeah, I never knew that was the reason why you sort of mained Hag.
Yeah.
Fair play,
I
fair
I
play.
I, I was after a low key killer
Yeah,
because initially Freddy was the worst one. I mean, I'm talking about vintage Freddy now.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, he
we
was
had to hit
bad.
him up.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was bad.
horrendous.
And
Yeah,
I thought that to me was brilliant because you had to think about it. You had to manage the time. You had to manage the people inside Dreamworld. And Dreamworld then was a horrible place to be. People didn't want to be
mm,
in Dreamworld. And you felt like a dream demon. And then when he got messed up, um, I wanted another killer. I wanted a killer that was low key, deemed to be the worst killer in Dead by Daylight. And I wanted to see what I could do.
yeah,
I didn't want to be the next nurse or the next Huntress or whatever. I wanted to be a low key killer, and
Yeah,
it was a hag.
fair play.
And even to
Because
this day, no one plays it still.
yeah, no one plays
Look,
it.
and how often do you ever run into a hag?
Honestly, I
Never.
think last year, and I'm being brutally honest, I think I went up against 3
Mm.
in the space of a year, and that's roughly the same for twins. I think twins might have been a little bit more often than hag. I think twins was about 5. But like when I first started playing DVD, like actually sinking my teeth into it. So I started playing Pyramid Head, and I found this power a little bit too difficult for my simple brain. So I main Doc because Doc was really easy for me, and I just
Yeah, yeah,
thought, God, Doc is so strong. He can zap people, and he could prevent them from vaulting and
yeah,
dropping pallets. But then you have to learn the timing of the
Yeah.
shocks.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so I started maining Doc for a bit, and then Twins came out, and I thought the concept was amazing. 2 killers you get to control of,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you got to learn more about it, and it's like, oh my god, this is more of a chore than anything. But for me, out of all the killers that's been released, my 2 most enjoyable killers is for me. I love Huntress, and I learned Huntress from Metal. I've had the most fun with Huntress and Wesker. I think Wesker's been the most fun personally to me because I think when he came out, he was actually really well balanced. Probably same as for Demogorgon as well. I would say Demogorgon is probably the most balanced killer in DVD at the moment.
So he was
Um,
my go-to because
yeah,
I'm a huge Xeno fan.
mm,
Demogorgon was my go. See, I didn't even know Demogorgon existed before Daredevil. I didn't even watch Stranger Things. I thought it was a
no,
kids show. But when Demogorgon got released, I thought I need to know about this killer. And I
yeah.
thought, wow. And I started watching the series. I thought, bloody hell.
I
So,
was like that. I put off the series for ages, and then my partner said, "Look, Bran, you need to watch it." I watched it, and lo and behold, it's one of my favorite series. I think it's great, really well directed. The writing's fantastic. Um, but I bet you was excited when Xeno came out, though.
that was my worst fear. See, me and Lisa, as in Hag, we got married and we were happy married. Right?
Yeah,
And there's even an old profile picture of me with Lisa as like a cartoon type thing.
yeah.
And I had it professionally drawn by a guy I met in Comic Con. Cost me like 150 odd quid for this print.
Bloody hell, that's an expensive wedding.
Yeah, it wasn't it? So then I had this the intro was the lady in red, and we were happily married. And then every year I was scared
Hmm.
of the alien getting released because I knew if it ever happened, me and Leaf would split up, and it's happened.
Wait, I'm actually getting like quite heartfelt about you. The way you're telling it is like a proper true love story.
It was. See, me and Lisa, we go back a way, you know.
Oh, fair play.
People
But
call her ugly. It upsets me because she's not ugly at all.
just
Really,
misunderstood.
yeah.
um, like when Xeno got when Xeno got released, was you satisfied with Xeno?
No,
No?
no. See, with me, I would have much rather had the face of the parts of his kit,
Mm,
like the reverse bear traps, or something to do with that,
yeah.
or the eggs, or something to do with the egg and the face of it. That's a very important part of the Alien franchise,
Yeah.
isn't it? So when it got released and it was like the tail strike, and that basically is really it. There's no there's no jump scares really from Alien,
No.
but in the film you got jump scares. So
Yeah.
the turrets is like
They don't
the
really do anything, to be honest with you.
but mind you, you got like a 40-mile thousand thing on the
Yeah.
thing on the turrets. You know where the demons come from, no matter what. But I think I was a bit overwhelmed. No, underwhelmed. I was
Underwhelmed, yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah. Because when we first heard that Xenomorph was coming out, I instantly thought, right, indoor map. They got the perfect formula, indoor map. Alien can go through vents and jump scare people, it's
Yeah,
going to be phenomenal. But no, like don't get me wrong, I like the tunnel aspect, the tunnel system. I think that's quite unique. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think it was quite underwhelming, and the Nostromo map as well.
it's log
Personally,
breaking.
yeah, personally, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Log
The
breaking.
main building is kind of cool. Don't get me wrong. You got the little features where you can see the face hugger jump up the thing, and you got the
Secret room.
yeah, the secret room. That's a nice little touch.
Mm.
I just think they really missed the mark there.
Yeah. What they should have done is an indoor map of the engineers ship.
They should have literally just copied and pasted Alien Isolation. Is that the one, the first person, when you're getting hunted by the
Yeah, yeah.
alien?
Yeah.
They
But
should have
what
done something like
I
that.
I think they should have done at the inside of the engineer ship from Aliens.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you got the long tunnels. You got the where you find the engineer in his seat.
yeah,
And it's this place like that. But the records of a Nostromo on a planet, it's law breaking. It didn't crash on the planet.
yeah,
It was nowhere near the planet. It was just right in space.
yeah.
So it's not. I don't know.
What do you personally think? Obviously, this is your opinion, so
Yeah.
everyone has a right to their own opinion. What is your opinion on the future of Dead by Daylight? Now, personally, for me, if DVD keeps going the way that they're going, I would give them a maximum, and I'm being very generous personally. I'll give them a maximum of 5 years, maximum.
I don't know. I'm scared of the future of Dead by Daylight because I heard this rumor and I've seen on behaviors forums that they are aiming for to escape and to die, and that's what they're aiming for. So all these, reworks and what have you, is aiming for that. So I think gameplay of Dead by Daylight in a couple of years' time will be so different.
Because, like, for me, they've got the perfect formula because they've done it correctly. Because they haven't sort of specified it on one IP or one franchise. They have literally got they're sitting on
Oh
a
yeah,
golden egg. They really are. Um, but me and Metal have always said since streaming sort of DVD, the death of DVD will be by behavior. It won't be by his players. It won't be by thing. It will be behavior themselves.
they're going to kill off the killers.
Yeah.
And you're going to get part-time killers that don't know what they're doing, and it'll make the game more enjoyable. But the people that spend time learning the killer, because with survivors, you learn one type of thing, don't you? You just learn how to move and
Yeah,
to
the
loop.
perks. Yeah, the
And
perks
so,
and the looping. That's it.
yeah, and that's all you learn. But with killers, you'll learn the power, the limitation of the power, the perks, the combinations, everything.
Yeah,
Every new survivor, it's just a new skin. So I know I don't think we're gonna have killer mains in a couple of years' time.
I agree. I honestly, unless they sort of do something about it, because obviously FNAF is coming out in the summer. Now I have no clue about FNAF. I know they're a humongous community.
Yeah,
I know that, but I've never really truly played a FNAF game, and I
I
believe
haven't.
Mel, you've said as well. Um, People have asked me, "Are you looking forward to FNAF?" And I'm like, "No, not really. It doesn't catch my eye, you know." I'm more old school horror, so I like leather, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You got
Yeah.
um, Nightmare on Elm Street, so on and so forth. And I just feel that the game is leaning more towards newer players than it is for its existing veterans. The depipping system, I think they need to bring that back personally, because the rank system, because also you can't really see your MMR.
Do you think the MMRs increased tunneling?
Probably.
Do you know what I think increased tunneling? Win streaks.
Yeah.
Win streaks, yeah.
Win streaks. Because obviously they see like your Otses, your Henses, and all this do it. Then people think, oh, if they could do it, I can do it. Because don't get me wrong, because I've run into loads of people, like, I won't say a certain streamer name, but Rule knows.
Yeah,
We-
I've already
we-
spoken.
we was just playing a casual. We was on Larry's, weren't we? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
got tunneled out on 5 gens, and it was a certain streamer doing a win streak. It was on Xeno, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure.
He was either Xeno
I'm
or
pretty sure.
Larry.
I think it was Xeno, and just
Yeah.
turned me out on 5 gens, and I had to sit there for like 20, 30 minutes. You know what I mean, it's just to me because like the old win streak aspect is just to me that's what's increased a lot of the tunneling. Because if you go on a win streak, I think people think they're good at the game, but you're not. My whole thing is
So-
show me your win loss record. You can't.
So, whilst you learnt Hunters off Metal, is that what you said before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
I
I learned Hag off another streamer called Space Coconut.
Space coconut. Space coconut.
Yes.
I don't know who that is. I know coconut's art. Is it RTS or something?
RTS, yeah.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
was called Space Coconut. He had a massive falling out with behaviour. But he did, I took on Hag, but I couldn't grasp the concept of teleporting. I couldn't teleport fast and blah, blah. I couldn't get my head around it. And he was, at the time, the main Hag. Main Hag main.
Yeah.
So I messaged him. I said, no, blah, blah. He said, oh, you need to spam teleport and use the add-ons, use the perks. Then he did like game review where you'd upload a video to YouTube, share the link to him. He'd have a look at it and point out where you need to what to do.
Need to improve. Yeah.
So that was how I started up with the Hag. But then I evolved my own wave. You know what I mean? I became a lot more aggressive with it.
Yeah.
I used to use Franklins and trap items, trap the roots going to items, blah blah. So then Xenomorph came around, and I wanted to main Xenomorph, regardless of his power or I was underwhelmed. That was it.
Yeah.
And there's a guy called the Mr. Headache. Have you heard of him?
No.
Well, he's a Xeno main, and after watching a couple of his videos, I understood about the tail strike. Then I evolved again. So it wasn't a natural thing for me to take on Xenomorph and get good or understand the killer. The same as Hag. It wasn't a
Yeah.
natural thing. It was learning off other people.
Yeah.
And I think some people don't want to do that. They go into a game expecting to learn and be good without learning, and then once they get smashed, they complain.
Yeah, and because that's the thing. So, like, Metal showed me the fundamentals of Huntress. You know, of the certain areas you can throw a hatchet through. I'm
Yeah.
still learning stuff now. Like recently, I think even Metal will be proud of me. It was on Garden of Joy and I was going around Shack, and you know, on Garden of Joy, you got the shack, and on next to the shack window, you've got an actual physical
broken
window.
Yeah, you can throw
It's
an
got
hatchet
broken.
through there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it was the cleanest thing. It was the
Mhm.
quickest flick, and I managed to get a hatchet through it and hit a
Yeah.
survivor. But like loads of people don't know that or don't want to know that. They don't want to delve the time to actually learn about the killer and learn how to get better. Like another individual, lovely person, exquisite titties. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, Dilly. They're phenomenal Huntress main. They do really good aerial shots, two taps, stuff like that. And she's even given me some pointers. I
Yeah.
think, and I'm all about learning something new. I do find it interesting. But like some people just can't accept or just will not sort of have the time or invest the time in a certain killer that they like, but they just expect to learn on the spot and get good after the first match, to know everything after the first match. Like
Yeah.
even Metal, he's got 1,000 hours on Huntress, probably
More than that.
more than that. But I guarantee you, he was probably still learning more things with Huntress.
Yeah, because obviously when
Like maps get reworked. And
yeah,
when they
obviously
change
you got to
Huntress and all that.
reworked, and obviously I learned Huntress, the old school Huntress with no add-ons with 5 hatchets. I made it hard for myself, and I learned on a controller. I played Huntress for years on a controller,
I'll double wind up.
and look,
Otherwise, I can't use it.
and most people say you can't play Huntress with a controller. I disagree. Like I've got many clips of me hitting cross map patches with a controller.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I
many.
always thought the same thing with Nurse. You can't play Nurse on controller.
No, yeah, you can.
You
Like,
can.
I've
You
done.
can.
Yeah, you can.
It's harder compared to mouse and
Oh
keyboard.
yeah,
Don't get me
yeah.
wrong, but
You,
it is. You can still do it. Like I
Mm.
learned Huntress on because I used to stream on
It's the same
Xbox.
as Xeno. It's the same
Mm.
as Xeno and Deathslinger.
Yeah.
You know, with Xeno, there's one thing you can do on control, and that's like the
Oh, is it
vertical.
the pull down sort of thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
the old pull down. Yeah, because a lot
You
of
can't
the
do that with
low
controller,
hanging walls, if you
but you can
you can
strafe.
just you can do the go over and pull the tail down.
Yeah, like a lob.
Because the hitbox, how the hitbox works, obviously
Yeah,
you got the head, but the hitbox is just above.
We can
Yeah.
drag it down with the
Yeah.
mouse, but on control you can't do it. Or you can, but it's
Mm.
awkward. I can't do it. But you can do I can do horizontal shots, and that's really all you need really. Is
Yeah.
horizontal shots. You
Mm.
drag it.
But that's another thing as well. Learning the hitboxes, like with Huntress.
Yeah.
If the thing with Huntress, if there's a wall there and there's a survivor here hiding behind that wall, and it's like a thin wall, a Huntress could literally, if she could keep the hatchet tight
Yeah.
against that wall, you will hit the survivor because the
Yeah.
hitbox is normally like
Yeah, the hitbox is
slightly
bigger than
wider.
the actual model itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because a lot of
and it's
people
like
think it's
50
like lag, but it's not. It's
no,
like because
it's the
sometimes
hitbox.
you get it behind a rock. It ain't because of lag. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's the actual
It's the
hitbox
hitbox,
itself.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's the actual hitbox. And if you, like any good huntress, that's what I say to anyone. If you want to be a good huntress, learn hitboxes.
But then you get accused of hacking.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I've
You've been accused so many times.
I've been accused so many times. No, someone called me a cheater for throwing a hatchet over a pallet, like
Yeah.
2 foot in front of me, and they called me a cheater for it.
Yeah,
And
literally. So, funny enough, I did make a video on this individual because, yeah. So basically, Dilly, all right. So the survivor, the said streamer, bearing in mind,
mm,
pulled down the pallet, metal. Obviously, walked back so he didn't get stunned. Pulled out a hatchet, threw it over the pallet, and he gave up on Hook straight away. And went into Metal's chat and said, "I'm never playing against you again because you're a cheater." And that was
yeah,
it.
If-
People just don't
if
understand
Do you
you'd
it.
accused
get
me,
accused? Sorry, do you ever get
mm,
do you ever get accused of well, not accused, but do you ever get said that because you're a streamer, you got like to
Be
play
good.
yeah,
Yeah,
as if you're like an
yeah,
advocate or
yeah,
a fog whisperer.
yeah. I get that quite a lot because I don't know why or who has come up with this concept. Every time someone has TTV in their name or TikTok or YouTube
mm,
or whatever, they're automatically the best of the game.
yeah,
I'm consistently inconsistent. I can have my highs, I can have my lows. I am never average. I'm constantly up and down. I could do fantastic looping. Next game I'll do the worst. I'll end up sandbagging everyone because
Yeah,
I'm just inconsistently consistent.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know what your opinion on it, Metal. Do you
well,
agree? Or?
well, yeah, well, obviously, yeah, like because since you got TTV name, everyone thinks obviously you have to be good at the game. Some people just stream for
Or
fun.
you have to
Yeah,
play a certain way.
Yeah,
Like you have to play fairly and non-toxic, otherwise you don't get followers.
Well,
yeah,
Have you ever had those messages or whatever?
oh yeah. Like, it's
yeah,
lucky for me. Like, well, obviously, I was a Huntress main, and I played a lot of Huntress before I started streaming it. So I went through my bad period of learning Huntress before I streamed. So lucky
Yeah.
for me, like I was fairly decent at Huntress. Like, so, but like, say someone who didn't spend 1,000 hours before they started streaming, just learning Huntress, and they got TTV in there. Everyone's thinking, oh, you're supposed to be good because you got TTV. No, just chilling, trying to learn the killer. You know what I mean? It's like not everyone that streams are like a pro player. You know what I mean? Some people just stream for fun and just chill.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Mm,
When you're learning a killer,
mm,
um, when you're playing your main killer and you're competing, you're getting wins, you're getting kills, blah blah blah. When you're learning a killer, no, sorry, go back. Let's go back to what I was saying before. When you playing your main killer and you go up against survivors and they say, "Oh, you should give us a chance," blah blah. You're playing too toxic. You need to give us a chance, blah blah. But when you're learning a killer, what happens then?
exactly. You're
that's
not going to
yeah.
ask the survivors
There's
to
one
stop. Can you
stomp
just
over
slow
you.
down? Yeah, you're not gonna ask the survivors, "Oh, can you just slow down just a little bit?"
Yeah, can you get off
Like,
the gens, please? You know what I mean? It ain't gonna happen, is it?
no, no.
They stomp you, don't they? They stomp you, and they enjoy doing it as well. Then
Yeah.
they go by the exit gate and just
Yeah.
wait there until the 2 minutes over and done with.
Yeah,
But that's how you learn, though, isn't it? It's those tough matches.
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
The
You learn
matches,
more from that than you do from winning.
because when you can think of on the mistakes you made, and even on the good things you done, because even you can still learn from winning, obviously.
Yeah,
But like, and then really tough matches, you think, all right, I've done this wrong. Maybe next time I can do this. It's a shame Devil don't actually have a replay system. Like,
But then when you get to that point, you get called, "Oh, you have
yeah,
to take it easy on this."
well,
Why?
you don't have to. There's no
no.
thing, because the survivors ain't gonna take it easy. If they 5 gen you, got no work. So they say they'd be teabagging out the exit gate. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just,
Again, it's double standards.
but then I've had games where I've ended games in like 3-4 minutes
Hmm.
because the survivors are doing survivor things.
I had a very
And,
interesting
and I've been
conversation
called sweaty for it. I'm like, no, you just made a load of mistakes, and I think it wasn't that hard. Like, not for
Yeah.
me. If you make mistakes, you're making it easy for me.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
I had a very interesting conversation with one survivor. You're telling me you can't me, blah blah. I said, what is the killer's objective? The survivor, right?
Hmm.
That's what you're there for. You're a killer. It's in your name, killer. You're supposed to kill people, right? So my objective is the survivor. I said, what's your objective? The gens and the exit gate. So when I'm telling my objective, what are you doing to your objective?
well, that's the thing. That's why I don't believe gem
They
rushing's
will
a thing.
go back to that gen time after time
Mm,
after time after time to get that gen done.
mm.
Yeah.
Like,
So basically, right, they are doing exactly the same thing of what they're accusing of doing. They'll stay by a gen, which is you're staying by your objective. In the killer's way, it's a survivor. Survivor's side, they'll stay by the gen, hide by the gen until the killer moves away. What are what are they doing to the gen? They're camping it.
Yeah.
well, that's the thing. Like, that's why I mean, gem rushing don't exist, in my opinion. Like, for any killer that says, "Oh, they're gem rushing," it's like, no, like, survivors doing
That's
their
your objective.
objective. Like,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
doing their objective. What do you want them to do? Stand in the corner and wait for you to come to them? The old gem rushing thing don't exist. You got to create the pressure, and there's plenty of slowdown perks, like pain res, for
Exactly.
example. Like that perk's way too strong. In my opinion, they should just take out the game completely because that perk's just too strong. And like, you obviously got corrupt, deadlock, the new grim embrace, pop. Even though pop ain't that good anymore, but you still
No.
got plenty of generation perks. But like, for someone who never for over a year didn't use any generation, I still won most of my games because I created the pressure. And that's what people need to learn how to do, is to
I think
stop
also
gem rushing, is to
Yeah.
create the pressure. That's what they got to do.
regarding all the reading perks, I think they should be peeled back a bit. There's too many of them on both sides. It
There is.
removes the horror aspect of Dead by Daylight. You know where
Yeah.
each other is. You can see each other.
And I must admit, because like when I first started learning Huntress from Metal,
Mm.
so obviously I didn't have the luxury. I didn't like have a thousand hours under my belt, and then started streaming playing Huntress. So
Yeah.
I learned while streaming. So I automatically sort of started using gen regression perks on Huntress, and it became really bloody stressful. It really did, because I wasn't that good. But with like the aura perks, I found it one less stressful because I couldn't
Well,
care about the gens. It was all about the nice hatchets.
Yeah.
yeah.
And two, it was nice, but it did feel like I was cheating, being able to see a survivor's aura across the map and just being able to say, right, if I aim it there, and then
But
what
then
it could do.
again, you say
I
that.
wasn't saying blah blah. I was just saying it's removed the horror aspect of the cat and mouse.
Yeah, I see, and I've said this on stream quite a few times. I would love for a game mode where it's literally like hide and seek.
No perks.
Yeah, no perks. Everyone is practically on death hook. There's no aura, nothing at all, and
Exactly.
you've got like let's say 5 or 10 minutes of just hiding and hunting. Once the time is over, the exit gates just automatically open and you can set free. I created that mode in a custom game. It
Yeah.
I thought it went down well. I even did a little tournament of it, and there was a cash giveaway. Loads of people loved it, absolutely loved it. I'm gonna have to do that again as well, chat. I'm gonna have to sort that out again because that was quite fun. But
Well, it's
but
got to
again,
mirror Mike. It's got to mirror Michael. No, that would work well in that,
Yeah, no, exactly. But like for me, again, back to the probably the first conversation we had on this episode. That's us creators creating content.
Yeah.
When like 2v8, yeah, 2v8 and other game modes, people have made mods off that, and it blew up. Loads of people
Yeah, yeah.
really interested, stuff like that. And it took what behavior 7 years, 6, 7 years
Yeah.
to say, all right, fine, you've been asking us for this long. I think it's time now we release a new game mode. And obviously, they initially released first. I think it was Lights Out. It wasn't the best game mode, I must admit, but at least they dipped their toe in the sense of sort of branching out in some sense. My Little Oni, that was a little meme one, quite funny, but again, after 2 games, you've seen what it can offer, and then you end up going back to the normal mode. 2v8, fun. It's really fun with friends, but again, how many games can you actually do 2v8 before it sort of runs out? For me, it's only a couple.
Yeah, I got bored of it very fast.
Yeah.
Very fast. It wasn't what I thought it would be.
No, and
It's
the
just,
queue times were horrific for killer.
it's chaos. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like Call of Duty compared to Battlefield. It's like just chaos.
Yeah. Yeah.
The maps felt really small too. It was all and done with. The game was all and done within 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, and for me, it would either go one way or the other. Either the survivors would absolutely dominate the killers, or the killers would absolutely dominate the survivors. I never found that like it was a well sort of intense game, but everyone was a winner. It was either one or the other. I
Yeah.
never found like that equal balance. But yeah, is there any other sort of key points we could talk about? Metal, have you got any?
No,
No?
honestly, no. So we've talked about quite a lot.
We have
Yeah.
in the space of an hour and 28 minutes, coming up to an hour 30, we covered off an awful lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything from you? Anything from you, Dilly?
Not really, apart from advising other players to enjoy the game more, and if they're not enjoying it, just give it up and uninstall it.
Yeah,
That's
And
what I
that
did.
way it
yeah,
wouldn't,
that's what Metal did.
it wouldn't, it caused less stress, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it
Well,
would.
why would you play Survivor just to get so upset to abuse of another human being?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not enjoying it, just get off it.
Exactly. Like I always, it's the same. Like if you go to a pub and you know the food is going to be crap, and you know the drinks are going to be crap, and you know the atmosphere is going to be crap, why would you go there again?
Exactly.
I always say, look, if a game really infuriates you to the point where you become aggressive to other people, maybe you just take a deep breath, take a step back, and give yourself a break. I don't know if you've seen Crimson's comment, but Crimson goes, because of a hot barmaid. But yeah, I think that's a perfect end to the episode. Dilly, mate, again, thank you ever so much for joining into the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, mate. And you know what? It's been a pleasure getting to know you as well, because obviously we've known each other for a little while now, not too long. But it's nice to get to know you more, especially as you're Welsh. Obviously, there's no sort of favoritism there, but yeah, mate. Honestly, it's been a real honor to have you, mate.
There's no worries. Hopefully, we can work together and get more people into the podcast.
Oh, 100%, mate.
I know a few people that would enjoy it.
Yeah. Have you enjoyed it though? That's the main thing for me. Have you enjoyed it?
I have, yeah.
Good.
I've enjoyed waffling about them, and I enjoy playing.
Yeah.
Even though at times it does get a bit stressful.
Yeah.
But, there you go.
Yeah. Well, chat and people watching on YouTube, thank you ever so much for tuning in today's very special episode. We are making history on the Skill Issue podcast, our very first guest. But yeah, thank you ever so much, Dilly, and chat. We shall all catch you on the next one. Until then, take care, look after yourself, and toodles.